Hello YouTube, this is Epic E-Bike Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the BoostBikes R3 Boost. This is a new product straight out of California. The R3 Boost shipped in roughly 18 days to my house here in Vancouver, and we received a series of packages. There was roughly like 5 of them, and they were relatively heavy, I must say. Opening up the first box, we have what looks like to be the pedals, as well as the top cover of the frame of the bike. I believe they ship it in this package, so it's protected, just judging by the other box that the bike came with. The pedals look pretty nice, they're metal, relatively light. We'll see how they fit onto the cranks, but they're relatively good quality. As mentioned before, this top panel cover just goes on the top of the bike. I believe it shields the battery, and it's relatively solid. It's like an aluminum cover, and it also comes with this hardware, so we'll probably end up installing that. The seat is one of the favorite things I appreciate about this bike. Relatively lightweight, pretty comfortable leather. It's got a plush foam inside, so you can go long distances without feeling anything. It's held together by 4 of these bolts. It's connected to the frame, and it looks like this metal frame just attaches to the center frame. So that should be relatively easy. Okay, so on to the next box. We have some items in here. What looks to be the rear light. It's a pretty solid sized light, comes with some hardware. Not entirely sure how many lumens this light produces, but it looks like it has a little license plate thing on the back. I suppose that's if you want to register your motorcycle, you could do so. In this box, we have the charger, a pretty heavy charger, I must say. I believe it pushes 10 volts output. Pretty nice looking charger. It's like an aluminum charger. Yeah, it just plugs in AC outlet to the wall. I don't suppose these things get very loud. It looks like it has a cooling fan. But unlike other bikes like the Sur-Ron, I must say it's definitely a much quieter looking charger. Has a nice fuse, which looks cool. So yeah, this looks like a decent charger. Here we have the bike seat. This is not something that would come with the bike ordinarily, but you can request this. And I wanted just to do a review and see what seat felt better. Feeling at it now, it's very solid, really more of a traditional bike seat. I just don't see this being a very good option with a high-speed electric bike like the R3 Boost. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we'll definitely give it a try. But yes, it is a very stiff seat. Another thing we get in this box is the fender kit. So if you are going off-roading, or potentially it's a rainy day, these things will help out a lot. It comes with a front and a rear um, fender, and they look relatively easy to install. You probably just throw it onto the forks. So this will be a great option to add onto your bike. The last thing we have in this box, and certainly not least, is the suspension kit that comes with the BoostBike. They are using KKE's air suspension forks. It's definitely a very solid, hefty set. It's more of a motorcycle suspension over a dirt bike suspension. It carries more weight. It feels heavier. It's definitely great quality. I've seen a lot of forks. Over my time experimenting with mountain bikes and other e-bikes, and this is definitely a great option, especially when you're carrying a lot of weight. The R3 Boost definitely has a lot of weight, big battery, big motor, and this fork definitely ties it together very well. You're able to adjust the air within the suspension, as well as like ride height and other things. They installed a nice brake caliper stem on there, which is great, and overall it's just a really great piece. Okay, on to the next box. We have the front wheel, and I must say they did a very weird job packaging this wheel, but at least it came, undamaged. It's definitely a very hefty wheel. It's 80 by 100, 19-inch wheels. I opted for the 19-inch. There's also the 21-inch version. If you go for that, and they use the Tektro brake system as well as the discs, which is definitely a very reliable setup. And on that note, we decided to order the street or the all-season tires as well. We originally ordered the off-road tires for our bike, and that's what the bike comes with. But they also shipped us the all-season tires, which is great because they're definitely a little more slimmed down. If you're trying to reach those higher speeds, you definitely want a tire like this. Since we're here in a different state in Nevada, we definitely have more dirt, and the dirt tires make sense. But the street tires definitely look nice. They gave us tubes as well, which is amazing. Onto the battery. Now the battery is a very important piece. It's a very large component of the bike, very expensive component of the bike, and I must say they did not shy out in this battery. It's very quality. The terminals look absolutely great. The battery is very heavy, 72 volts, 40 amps. Definitely a very monster battery. The BoostBikes is rating it at around 1800 charge cycles, which is great. Definitely a longer lasting battery. On to the main box. This was one piece of the unboxing experience that I just really didn't enjoy as much. I just felt like the bike wasn't packaged to its full potential. As you can see, there's a massive hole on the side, which no one wants. Obviously, it's probably a shipping issue, but I think the packaging just could have been a little bit better. The experience could have been better. It's very messy, and yeah, that's just my only complaint really so far. Is this frame packaging? This bike is extremely heavy with the motor on it. So this is definitely one of the heaviest packages. You'll need more than one person to lift it. bike comes with the handlebars already installed, so this will be a very easy step. I know it looks like everything's unassembled and it looks like a mess, and the truth is it'd be nice if this entire thing was assembled, but I think logistically that just can't really happen. But at least everything's like connected, mainly just like putting stuff on in bolts. But opening up the frame here, looks like there's no damage, which I'm very, very thankful for, considering the packaging. And it came with the bike seat stem, which is interesting. But I got it onto a stand here, and it definitely looks very good. The 1500 watt motor that we have here definitely is super beefy. I like the way that the derailleur looks. Definitely a nice setup there. And overall, just it despite the packaging foam, it definitely is a very solid bike. The rear KKE suspension definitely looks just as good as the first one. Very strong and stable. The welds are really good on the bike. I requested to have a twist throttle. Usually people will get the full grip throttle, but just for my application I prefer it, and that just gives me a couple different features on there. The inside of the bike is definitely chaotic at first. They give you some supplies, to foam up the battery and just to make everything fit right. But don't be intimidating. None of the wires mean anything. You just have to plug in the battery. Lastly, we have the keys which come with the bike. Use it to unlock and lock the bike.